Dear students, myself Dr. Murtaza Ansari, GMC Betia. Today's topic is larynx. It's a very vital organ, and let's start regarding the larynx. So, what is larynx and what is the actual situation in your body? Larynx is the modified upper part of windpipe for production of sound, and the situation is in between the root of tongue and trachea, in front of your neck, in between third to sixth vertebrae. This is the actual situation you can see in this slide. See, this area is the mandibular region, upper part of the neck. This region, ear lobule you can see, observe here, and neck, root of the neck is here. So this area is your laryngeal area, and you can see the thyroid cartilage here. This one is thyroid cartilage, and this V shape is the special feature of your thyroid cartilage, which meets with an angle, this angle, and this especially this projection and angulation of thyroid cartilage is known as Adam's apple. And this thyroid cartilage is the largest cartilage of your laryngeal cartilages. And see here, very unique feature of this thyroid cartilage, you can observe your two horns. One horn is here situated upper and lateral, superolateral corner. See here, this horn, it is known as the superior horn, and also it has inferior horn. Some muscles you can see here. Actually, in this figure, I have to state the actual situation of your larynx in front of your neck, in between the third and sixth cervical vertebra. So, see a few features. Likewise, thyroid cartilage you can see here. Thyroid cartilage written here. Cricothyroid ligament. It will be dealt later on in your these slides, and some artery and cricothyroid muscle, cricothyroid cartilage, and trachea here. So just observe the situation of this laryngeal part. Now come in the next slide. What is the actual structure of this larynx, and what are the cartilages which participates in the formation of your larynx? So one very important question which is asked, how many cartilages takes part in the formation of this structure? So 9 cartilages, they takes part in the formation of your larynx. 3 are paired and 3 are unpaired. This question is asked. As for example, what are the cartilages which are paired in the formation of larynx? Enumerate them. You have to write, you have to remember this page. So 3 paired cartilages are arytenoid, corniculate, cuneiform, and unpaired 3 cartilages are epiglottic or epiglottis, thyroid cartilage, and cricoid cartilage. Largest one is the thyroid cartilage. So coming to the next slide, see here, different cartilages with their articulation with the help of some ligaments and membranes. Just you observe here, this one is your hyoid bone, and upper green area marked, this green area is your epiglottic region. This one green mark cartilage, long green with 2 horns these two superior horns and inferior horns. See here, this is thyroid cartilage, and a small red mark, two bony portions, triangular pyramidal in shape. They are the corniculate and arytenoid cartilage, and one here, this is cricoid cartilage. See here, if it is in the cut section, you can see here the epiglottis clearly, epiglottis here, and two small cartilages together, as if one person is standing over a man's shoulder, putting his both soles over the shoulder. Likewise, over the your this cartilage, cuneiform and corniculate cartilages, as if they are standing with their foot over the shoulder of your thyroid cartilage. Remember this, they are sitting over the shoulder of this. And see here some ligament. This is very typical bone here, typical. This is cricoid cartilage. It's like a signet ring. And one important feature of this thyroid cartilage, see here, it has two laminae anteriorly V-shaped, deepening here, V-shaped. Both laminae, they form an angle here, but posteriorly it is continuous like ring. Same as see here, this hyoid cricoid cartilage, this is like a signet ring. Anterior is short and thin, and posterior laminae is broad. This is like a signet ring. It's a very specific picture. I can zoom this picture. See here the epiglottic region and hyoid bone, thyrohyoid membrane, as marked, superior horn of thyroid cartilage, corniculate cartilage. See here, arrow mark, corniculate cartilage, arytenoid cartilage, superior thyroid notch. This V-shaped deepening is known as thyroid cartilage notch of the superior thyroid notch, and thyroid cartilage laminae both sides. You can see median cricothyroid ligament, you can observe here median cricothyroid written here, and your this angle is here, notch is here, horn is here. See, this membrane ligament is here, median cricothyroid ligament, and inferior horn is here, written here, inferior horn of thyroid cartilage. You can see here, observe here the vocal ligament. Just see here, this area, this region, vocal ligament, and corniculate cartilage here, arytenoid cartilage is here. This one is your thyroid. This one is your cricoid cartilage. It's a posterior view. Posterior laminae is broad, anterior laminae is thin. And see here the tracheal rings. These are the tracheal rings. You can see. You can observe very clearly the articulating small bones. This one is pyramidal. This one. It has a very important. It plays very important role in the movement of adduction and abduction of your vocal cord. You will see later on. So, come to the next slide. See here. Same way, you can observe here. See here the epiglottic region. See here epiglottis. This a small portion is epiglottic region. You can see same picture here, this epiglottic region, and hyoepiglottic ligament. Hyoepiglottic, the ligament attached in between the hyoid bone and the epiglottis. This is known as hyoepiglottic. All ligament and membrane and muscles have same formula and same correlation. Both in between the cartilages and bone, name will be same as if you are here is seen here hyoepiglottic ligament. See here the hyoid bone. This is hyoid bone. Hyoid bone has very specific small cornu and long cornu. Hyoid bone is here. You can see here. This is a hyoid bone and tracheal cartilages. You can see here the tracheal cartilages. These are the tracheal cartilages. Tracheal cartilages, you can see thyroid cartilage with their lamina. See the broad and largest cartilage here, green marked with superior horn and inferior horn, well marked here. You can see the thyroid membrane here. Thyroid cartilage lamina, both lamina together called laminae, individually called lamina, and oblique line. You can see laryngeal prominence, that is Adam's apple. Corniculate bone, now see here, dark green, and above this cap-like structure sitting over the head of this cartilage, a small, that is corniculate cartilage, and both are sitting over the shoulder, standing over the shoulder of the thyroid cartilage here. This is arytenoid cartilage, and this small string, see here, reddish yellow small string, this is vocal ligament. And this arytenoid muscle has two ends, vocal end and muscular end. Muscular end and muscular process and vocal process, where the vocal ligament is attached. Here important muscle at the muscular process is attached. It is very important regarding the movement, adduction and abduction of your vocal cord and production of sound. So vocal process, vocal ligament, thyroepiglottic ligament, thyroepiglottis, ligament in between the thyroid and epiglottis is known as thyroepiglottic ligament. Cricothyroid ligament, you can see here, cricoid cartilage and cricothyroid, and tracheal rings, you can see here. Tracheal rings, you can see here the tracheal, in between the green area is the ligament or membrane. Is here the median and lateral cricothyroid ligament. See here the yellowish mark. So just regarding every bone articulates and forms your larynx with their ligament. Now come over the cavity. What are the cavity? Inside the so many small cartilages unite together and form the larynx. And cavities are important: vestibule, above vestibular fold, vestibule, and ventricle in between the vestibular and vocal fold. Sinus of Morgagni. This ventricle is known as sinus of Morgagni, and infraglottic part below the vocal cord. These are the three cavities: vestibule, ventricles, and infraglottic part. You can see in the slide. See here. You can observe here. See, this is your epiglottis, written here, epiglottis, and this area is your vestibule. First cavity, vestibule, hyoid bone, you can see here. Second, see here, see this recess like a structure, recess here, recess. This is the one cavity. This is known as the ventricle of larynx. You can see here, ventricle of larynx. You can very well observe the vestibular fold here. This is the vestibular fold, one space here cavity, long cavity here you can see this is infraglottic region. So three cavities you just observe. First is vestibule, you can see vestibule, this is vestibule, this your cavity is here and one cavity is here, and other parts of this region section you can see so many arteries, vein, nerves and cartilages, muscles, thyroid cartilage cut section is shown here. Main important areas to show you is the ventricles or the hollow spaces and cavities, especially the cavities of your larynx. It is asked, tell me the cavities of larynx. So you can enumerate three cavities. So come to the next slide. How are they arranged? With the help, they are arranged with the help of some membranes, muscle and ligaments, all small bones, and they all together form your laryngeal box. So ligaments important are extrinsic, you can read well, extrinsic. First is hyoepiglottic ligament, second one is your cricotracheal, third one is thyrohyoid. Come intrinsic, part of the fibroelastic, you can see part that is intrinsic ligament. How are they formed? They are the fibroelastic membrane, part of the fibroelastic membranes. So see in the actual position here, same picture I have shown earlier. You observe here, you can observe here, same picture I have shown you. See from the epiglottis, hypoglottic ligament, bones, cartilages, membrane, you can see the thyroid membrane and thyroid cartilage, lamina, oblique line, laryngeal propellens, corniculate, arytenoid, muscles, muscular process, vocal process and vocal ligament, and thyroepiglottic ligament, well marked here, thyroepiglottic ligament. You can see median and lateral cricothyroid ligament. There are different positions of your ligament and muscles. With the help of these ligaments and membrane, all they are arranged together. So come in the next slide. Enumerate the membranes of your larynx. There are two types, extrinsic and intrinsic. Extrinsic membrane important, very important is the thyrohyoid membrane. Intrinsic one important are the fibroelastic membrane, two types, quadrate membrane and conus elasticus membrane is very important. Conus elasticus I will show in the actual situation of conus elasticus. Otherwise it is known as the cricovocal. See here, crico written here. See here, conus elasticus is here written. Quadrate one is here. Conus elasticus is also known as a cricovocal ligament above and below the sinus of the larynx. See here. Achha, I will tell regarding the mucous membranes, then again it will be shown in the picture. The mucous membrane lying the internal surfaces of your larynx, of different parts of the larynx, are type 1 stratified squamous epithelium. See here, stratified squamous epithelium. First, and found in the anterior surface of epiglottis. Second, upper half of the posterior surface of epiglottis. And third, airy epiglottic fold. And fourth one, over the vocal fold. These are the four areas where stratified squamous epithelium is found. This is asked in the examination. And second one is ciliated columnar epithelium. Rest of the laryngeal membranes are having the ciliated columnar epithelium except four areas. First is anterior surface of epiglottis, upper half of the posterior surface of epiglottis, epiglottic fold, and over the vocal fold. So come to the next slide. Intrinsic muscles of your larynx. Important muscles are cricothyroid muscle, see here, cricothyroid muscle written here, cricothyroid muscle, and very important muscle and very specific feature. It is asked frequently asked in your examination by examiner always. Remember this line. This is the only muscle outside the larynx. This is the only muscle. It is from the outside of the larynx. Always remember the exception. Remember your tongue. All muscles supplied by this nerve except like pharynx. All muscles of pharynx are supplied by this nerve except larynx. Same question. All muscles are intrinsic except this cricothyroid muscle. See here, cricothyroid muscle, that is only. And second one is the posterior cricoarytenoid muscle. And third one is the lateral cricoarytenoid muscle, written here. That is lateral posterior cricoarytenoid, lateral cricoarytenoid, transverse arytenoid, and oblique aryepiglotticus, aryepiglotticus, thyroarytenoid, and epiglottic. Important fact regarding the thyroarytenoid: the most medial fiber of your thyroarytenoid muscle, its most medial fiber forms the vocalis muscle. Most medial fibers are called the vocalis. And thyroarytenoepiglottic, this muscle, its most lateral fibers are known as, they sweep to the epiglottic region. So remember, thyroarytenoid, most medial fibers, they form the vocalis, and thyroepiglottic, its most lateral fibers, they sweep to the epiglottis. So these are two important facts regarding this muscle. So come to the next slide. See here, different arrangement of different muscles. See, this muscle I can zoom. See, see here, they are the intrinsic muscles of your larynx, epiglottis. This is aryepiglottic fold, and see here the muscles. See here the muscle. See here, aryepiglottic muscle, you can see here. Oblique arytenoid muscle, you can see here. Oblique. See this. See this. Oblique. This one is transverse. See here, transverse arytenoid muscle. You can see here the posterior cricoarytenoid. It's a very important muscle. Action of each muscle over the vocal cord, I will summarize. Just after this I will summarize. See here some muscles. Red color muscles. Oblique and transverse arytenoid muscle. You can see here a straight part and oblique part of your cricothyroid muscles. So remember the actual position of these muscles and how they connect each another. Together they are connected with these muscles, and contraction of these muscles moves the vocal cord, either closes or opens the vocal cord. So in the next slide. See here. Again, the different arrangement of muscles. See here. These are the different muscles. They are arranged. So there are different muscles as shown. As for example, you can see the posterior cricoarytenoid muscle here. Posterior cricoarytenoid muscle is here. Posterior cricoarytenoid muscle is here. Lateral cricoarytenoid muscle is here. Lateral. This is posterior. It is lateral. It is equally the thyroarytenoid muscle here, and this one is the thyroepiglottic muscle. This is epiglottis. This one is epiglottis, and connecting this bone with the epiglottis, that is thyroepiglottic muscle. This one is the thyroarytenoid muscle. Arytenoid is here. So all muscles are here arranged, and see here the cricothyroid muscle is cut way to show the inner muscles lying here. So come in the next slide. Here see it is a very important structure. Likewise, muscular process. See here the muscular process and vocal process of your, here is the arytenoid muscle. Here is lying the arytenoid muscle, and it has two process already stated away. One lateral part muscular process and inner side vocal process. These are, and muscle attached here in the formation of your vocal cord and affecting the action of your, modulating the action of your vocal cord and phonation. These important muscles you can see here. The cricothyroid muscle, see here the cricothyroid muscle, and vocalis muscle. As stated above, vocalis muscle is here. You can see the vocalis muscle. See here the vocalis muscle. This one is vocalis muscle. This one is your thyroarytenoid muscle. This one is your thyroarytenoid muscle, and this one is lateral cricot. All muscles are arranged here. And lamina of thyroid cartilage. This is the this portion is the lamina of your thyroid cartilage. This one is lamina of your thyroid cartilage, and lamina posterior portion is covered by the, this ring is completed posteriorly beard area by your lamina of this cricoid cartilage. This one is your cricoid cartilage, anteriorly by the thyroid cartilage and posteriorly by the cricoid cartilage, and all muscles attached here. See the next slide. See here the different by arrow, it has shown the movement of your vocal cord. This one is your vocal cord. See here, vocal cord, vocal cord, vocal cord, vocal cord. Vocal cord is abducted here. You can see the arrow is the abduction due to contraction of this muscle. See here posteriorly, you have already seen these muscles. Due to contraction of this muscle, vocal cord will be taken apart, and due to contraction of, see here the muscle in the table, every muscle contraction and adduction and abduction, your vocal cord will be summarized just after it. See here the vocal cord is adducted, here is abducted, it is adducted due to contraction of these muscles. Laterally you are showing the red piece muscle. See here contraction of these muscles, your approximation of your vocal cord is here. And see here the another muscle affecting your vocal cord. Just to summarize this action, you can action of posterior red area, this posterior one red marked area with arrow contracting coming together and taking the vocal cord apart. This is the action of your posterior cricoarytenoid muscle written here. This is the action of posterior due to contraction of the posterior cricoarytenoid muscle that abducts, and action of lateral cricoarytenoid muscle that is lying here, both sides, right and left. Due to contraction of this muscle, vocal cord is adducted. You can see here the action of transverse and oblique arytenoid muscle lying here. You can see here muscle, your adduction of your vocal cord, adduction of your vocal, adduction. Here is abduction, here is adduction, here is also adduction. And see here, action of vocalis and thyroarytenoid written here. Written here. I can show you more clear. See here. Aromar, action of the vocal cord, and see here. Just reverse the action, muscle and contraction of the vocal. See here. Your aromar, the action of your muscle and both vocal cords come together, adducted here. See here, the posterior lying this muscle, contraction of this muscle causes adduction of the vocal cord. And see here, the your action of vocalis and thyroarytenoid muscle, shortening, relaxation of vocal ligament. See here, vocal ligament. So come in the next slide. I have made a short proverb here. You can see the different arrow action of your vocal cord. This is rima glottis, rima. In between the vocal cords, yellow pillar here. This is arytenoid muscle. You can cartilage, and in different arrows the action of your muscles. See here, vocalis, thyroarytenoid, lateral cricoarytenoid, and posterior cricoarytenoid, transverse arytenoid. See the action of these muscles, how they act. Pull this cartilage in the same direction as stated here. You can remember all these muscles here: first, second, third, fourth, fifth. First one, vocalis, thyroarytenoid, lateral cricoarytenoid, posterior cricoarytenoid, and transverse arytenoid. By a short formula, भैया तुझे लकी पुकारता. भैया V here, तुझे T, lucky L, and पुकारता P, ta T. By this you can remember all these 5 muscles here and action of these muscles. Now come over the table where the action of muscle with the and effect on the vocal cord. You can see here. See here the muscles acting on on the larynx. This is the movement of your larynx and vocal cord due to action of the muscles. See here, elevation of larynx by the thyroid and mylohyoid muscle. Depression of your larynx by sternothyroid and sternohyoid muscle. And opening inlet of your larynx by thyroepiglottis. Closing of inlet of larynx by aryepiglotticus. Abductor of vocal cord is posterior cricoarytenoid. And adductor of your vocal cord lateral cricoarytenoid, transverse and oblique arytenoid. Tensor of vocal cord cricothyroid. Relaxer of your vocal cord is thyroarytenoid. Remember this table. This will be asked to you. Cartilages. What are the cartilages? Paired cartilages, unpaired cartilages, important muscles, abductors, elevator and depressor of the larynx, and movement of your vocal cord. 4-5 questions are asked usually. Remember it well. Come to the next slide. Nerve supply of this. All intrinsic muscles, motor, all intrinsic are supplied by the recurrent laryngeal nerve except cricothyroid. It comes from outside. Already stated just earlier, that is cricothyroid is supplied by your external laryngeal nerve. By external laryngeal. All intrinsic muscles of the larynx supplied by the motor supply from the recurrent laryngeal nerve except cricothyroid, which is supplied by the external laryngeal nerve. Sensory. Your internal laryngeal nerve, internal laryngeal supplies the mucous membrane up to vocal fold. internal laryngeal nerve. It supplies the mucous membrane up to the vocal fold, and recurrent laryngeal nerve supplies the mucous membrane below the vocal fold. So always remember, internal laryngeal nerve above the vocal fold mucous membrane has its supply, and from recurrent laryngeal nerve the mucosa below the vocal fold they get supply. Come to the next slide. See here the different arteries, veins and nerves. You can see a superior laryngeal nerve. You can see a superior laryngeal nerve. This is superior laryngeal nerve. You can see here. See here the hyoid bone. Hyoid bone is here. Superior laryngeal nerve is here. Yellow one. Superior and internal branch of the internal and external branch of the superior laryngeal. You can see here. Internal external branch. You can see here the thyroid cartilage, median cricothyroid ligament, and see here the muscle, some muscles here. You can see the blood vessel here. Blood vessel, external carotid artery, see the internal carotid artery, superior thyroid artery and vein. They supply the superior and inferior thyroid artery, superior laryngeal artery branch of your superior thyroid artery. So this, see here the blood vessels, here the blood vessels supplying this zone. Come to the next slide. See here is a very important, frequently asked in the question, right and left courses of the right and left recurrent laryngeal nerve. See here, you can very well observe. See here, this is your arch of aorta, and one yellow string hooking this your arc of aorta. This one is the left recurrent laryngeal nerve. Left recurrent laryngeal, it hooks the arc of aorta, and right, see here, the right vagus is the branch of, both are the branches of right and left vagus. And see here, this right recurrent laryngeal nerve, it hooks the subclavian, right subclavian. This one is subclavian artery. This is your arc of aorta. So left recurrent laryngeal, remember this photo figure and remember this fact, it is asked frequently. So your course of left recurrent laryngeal nerve and course of your, see here arcing the right recurrent laryngeal nerve, both are the branches of right and left vagus nerve. Come to the next slide. Arterial supply up to vocal cord, up to vocal fold, superior laryngeal artery branch of your superior thyroid artery, arterial supply, and below the vocal fold inferior laryngeal artery branch or inferior thyroid artery. Come to the venous drainage. Up to vocal fold, superior laryngeal vein branch of your superior drains into the superior thyroid vein, and below the vocal fold inferior laryngeal vein drains into the inferior thyroid vein. Come to the next slide. Lymphatics above the vocal fold, it drains into the anterosuperior group of deep cervical lymph nodes, and below the vocal cord drains into the posterior inferior group of deep cervical lymph nodes. Few of them may drain into the prelaryngeal lymph nodes. Come to the next slide. Now regarding the clinical aspect, few important features at present in COVID situation. Any cough, coryza, hoarseness of voice is very important. So see here, the laryngitis, common feature, usually happen hoarseness of voice. It may be due to hoarseness of voice, may be due to laryngitis, acute infection larynx, and maybe any injury or paralysis unilaterally to the recurrent laryngeal nerve. Both may produce hoarseness of voice, and one situation vocal I will show in the clinical picture how it looks, and foreign body in the internal larynx may enter. Epiglottic sensation is lost and reflexes is lost when internal laryngeal nerve is injured or paralyzed. Sensation is lost, reflex is lost, so easy entry, it allows the easy entry of foreign body. So I will show you the picture of foreign body in the larynx. Recurrent laryngeal nerve, if bilaterally it is paralyzed or injured, then what will happen? Vocal cord becomes cadaveric. In between the, it remains static in between the abduction and adduction position. There is no movement in the vocal cord. That's why it is called the cadaveric position. No sound, no phonation. There will be complete loss of speech. If there is injury in the external laryngeal nerve, sound will be sluggish. And one important question to you: go through the books and prepare the answer of what is Siemens law. This is question. This is my question or task to all guys, all of you. So prepare this question. I will ask individually. Siemens, what is Siemens law? So larynx and glottis, this part is the narrowest part of your respiratory passage. Foreign body may lose into this very easily. Laryngeal edema, it is very difficult breathing. If there is laryngeal edema due to acute infection of the larynx, breathing will be very difficult, and also carcinoma and benign or malignant growth of tumors reported from your legs. Just you overview few cases here. See here. This is the typical the vascular prominence and swelling of your vocal cord here. See. This is the acute case of very nice picture of acute laryngitis. Next one. Unilateral vocal cord paralysis, you see here. This vocal cord. This is in relaxed position. One is here vocal cord. This is relaxed. This is a very typical case of unilateral vocal cord paralysis. See here. Vocal nodule, vocal nodule, vocal nodule, vocal nodule. Especially those who are engaged in the leaders in the rallies during the election. They have so many programs, 5 or 10 programs in the same day with their loud voices and speeches. They may develop the nodule over the vocal cord. That also causes the hoarseness of voice. One treatment is tapsoraphy. For that patient, give 1 or 2 stitches between 2 lips, so that he may give complete rest to your vocal cord. So come to the next slide. See here the foreign body. One white here pin has entered your larynx. Foreign body in the larynx. This is the X-ray picture, and foreign body you can see here. Next picture. See here benign growth here, tumor like structure in your larynx. Laryngeal edema you can see. That is a typical case of laryngeal edema. Laryngeal edema or swelling, not a benign growth, it is a swelling here. See, you can see the swelling, laryngeal edema. See the next slide. This is the benign tumor. Here the growth, benign tumor, benign, it is not malignant, of your larynx. See the malignant. This is the malignant tumor, cancer of your larynx. So take care, do gargle, keep your pharynx and larynx clear and hygienic. Thanks you. Okay.